Hi, it's Dr. Ron here, and I'm interested today in talking about kind of a short, but I hope important kind of message. Namely, how do you define yourself? For much of my career, I worked with headache patients, and one of the things that concerned me a whole lot was when somebody defined themselves as a headache patient, as opposed to being a person who has headaches, or if they met me in some other context, if they said, yeah, I go to the headache center too. The concept of being a patient implies certain kinds of things that maybe I overreact to, but I think is kind of meaningful. I think that it's very important that in your self definition, you look at lots of things, whether you are a husband, wife, son, daughter, parent. Uh, what is your career if you're working currently, or what was it? What kinds of things are you interested in? I'm interested in art or sports or writing, or I have a blog or so on. All these kinds of things are part of you. So that I think it was very important for the patients that I used to work with and still do that they not see patient as the first thing in their identity. Now that I've transitioned partially to seeing more older adults, I think that it's very, very important to apply the same kind of thinking. That we're talking about an older adult having lots of other things that go into their definition. So that if you're going to put forward the term that I'm a senior citizen or I'm an older adult, you better have something else to back it up, to not just define yourself in that way. So if you introduce yourself, don't introduce yourself as an older adult, but introduce yourself by other aspects of your identity. People will know that you're old. By the same token, it's very important that they understand other things about you. Now, I think that's critically important from the standpoint of the other person, but it is also important, even more important, from your own standpoint. It becomes important to recognize that older adult is a meaningless term. Headache patient is a meaningless term. It's a part of your identity, but it's basically meaningless because if you stop there, if that's the way you see yourself, then it implies a constellation of behaviors, attitudes, ideas, and the way that you expect to be seen by others. So think in terms of what you're defining, what you're doing to tell yourself inside your head what your self definition is, so that you define yourself appropriately and you can define yourself to others appropriately. So don't make your definition a total thing, make it a collection of things, which can include both strengths and weaknesses, but doesn't imply that you carry a whole lot of personal baggage because of a general term by which you define yourself. Hope you'll give that some thought. Listen to yourself when you introduce yourself to others. Think of yourself and the way that you introduce yourself to yourself. What is the term, or what are the combinations of terms that you define yourself as, and make sure that it's broad enough to include lots of pluses as well as any limitations that you may see as being part of your definition. Think about it and see if it doesn't make a difference. It has for me, and I think it will for you. And once again, I enjoy spending this time with you. I hope that you'll join the mental health gym if you haven't already, so that we can share more ideas and experiences. And I'll see you again on another day with another topic.